Is this low proof for barrel proof at 108, high aged, relatively speaking, for Elijah Craig recently, barrel proof rye worth looking for? Let's find out today on the Whiskey Tank. Hey everyone, I'm Joe. Welcome to the Whiskey Tank. If you're a new viewer here, thank you so much for joining me today. Go ahead and do all those awesome things. Let's make it official. Get yourself signed up. Like, share, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. And yeah, come on, jump on this journey with me. We'll have a good time, I promise. With that out of the way, I want to say, first of all, thank you guys for your comments. It really makes doing the videos fun to get a little feedback from everybody, so I appreciate you taking time and writing in. Also, if you let me know what you're looking for, I'll try to do that in a future episode. I really enjoy that interaction. So I just want to say a quick thanks to those of you who have been commenting on the videos. Really appreciate it. So let's talk about the thing that we're here to talk about today. This barrel proof rye from Elijah Craig. So I was able to finish off the set for Elijah Craig, which includes the A925, boom, the B525, boom, and the C925, bang, for the bourbons. And so, as some of you might be aware, but others might not, the A means it's the first release of the year. The 1 means it's from January. The 2.5 means 2025, and so on. So the B is the second release for them of the year. The 5 is for May, and then 2.5 because it's released in May of 2025. C 923, you get it right, September of 2025. So with those, they released this year an A 925. It confuses some people because they're like, wait a second, I thought that the C's were the 9s. Nope. The A just means it's the first batch of the year. So that's what this is. This is the first batch of 2025, and it was released in September of this year. So I was able to grab one of those, and now that really does complete the set. The reason why I say, I thought that I had the set complete, because this is a new thing that they're doing. I don't know of another year where they released ryes as part of their regular series. I know that they do barrel proof ryes. I just didn't know of one where they released it out as part of their series. So to me, it's kind of a special whiskey, so I'm pretty psyched to have it, and I'm looking forward to it. Hey, let's talk a little bit about this whiskey and what makes this whiskey unique. So it's a straight rye released in September 2025 with a proof of 108. It's aged 12 years and 3 months. The mash bill is kind of cool. The mash bill is 51% rye, 35 corn, and 14% malted barley. And you remember, you might remember from some previous videos, it's got to be at least 51% to be considered a rye. So this is what would be called a low rye. Some people take issue with the fact that this is 108 proof. I am not one of those people. I love high proof whiskeys, I really do. But Michter's ryes are pretty good. They are solid ryes. And what's unique about Michter's ryes, if you didn't know, they have a low barrel entry proof. So they go into the barrel at 103 proof, which means they're going to have a lower barrel proof, because all barrel proof means is whatever comes out of the barrel, that's what you get. It's not like a full proof where it goes back down to whatever the entry proof was. It's just whatever comes out of the barrel is what you get. The cool thing about that lower entry proof is it's a little bit more expensive to do. So when they put the whiskey in there, and if they have a higher entry proof, which they can go up to a max of 125, then that's going to yield more higher proof spirit, which is great for them to proof down for the regular stuff, the other bottles that they're kicking out, to their regular stock stuff, because they can add more water to that, and they're not paying to age the water. The thing that I like about Michter's, and maybe Elijah Craig, I don't know what the barrel entry proof this was, but if it's a 108 proof, it's telling me that was right around that 103, because it's going to go up. Because as water evaporates, it goes up. So it couldn't have been put in the barrel any lower than that point. So as long as something's barrel proof, I really don't care what the proof point is. It just means that it was put in at a lower proof point, which is cool. I like that. Let's get this thing opened. Try not to cut myself here. This thing's putting up a fight. All right. Make it rain cellophane. All right, cool. Let's get that cork pop. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And we'll get a little of this nectar in this glass. So some of you may recall, in one of my previous videos, I was talking about, I'm going to, with these fresh cracks, I'm gonna do two things with them. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour them in the glass. I'll still do fresh cracks. Pour them in the glass. I'm gonna do an initial nose and palate, maybe a finish in there with them, and then I'm gonna let it sit for about 45 minutes to an hour. Pause the video, jump back into it, and then see if that doesn't kind of change the notes that I'm getting from it. Trying to give these bottles that I'm doing as fresh cracks a fighting chance to open up a little bit and develop. I still like doing fresh cracks though, and I think some of you like seeing bottles cracked for the first time and understanding if that does make a difference, that age on them being open, the amount of time that they've been open. So what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna start going back and revisiting bottles that I did as a fresh crack, even when I've let them sit out for a little while, and do them again a little later and see if that whole neck pour or fresh crack, or if that really means anything, or if what you get out of the bottle is what you get out of the bottle. Does it really matter even if you do take the time to let them air out? That's just something I'm going to be starting to do. You won't notice in this video because I'm going to pause it and edit it and then come on right back. Cool? All right, let me get a quick nose in this. The color on it is, I mean, it's dark. That's beautiful. It's got a real nice look to it, in my opinion. Anyways, it's an amber. It's more of like a golden amber. This makes sense because this is a low rye at 51% rye in the mash bill. And the mash bill, for those of you who don't know, the mash bill is the recipe of grain that they're using when they're making alcohol. So like I said, this one's 51% rye, 35% corn, and then 14% malted barley. The nose is soft on this. It's not like a rye spice just punch in the nose. And being 108 proof, that's another beautiful thing. I'm not getting a lot of ethanol jump up and kind of sear me. I'm surprisingly getting some fruit out of this. I can't tell if it's like a cherry on it, but there's something. And there's also a lot of caramel in this too. I'm getting a lot, sometimes I get a lot of caramel in the glasses and sometimes I don't. With this one I am. And there's some other dark fruits in there too. So it's got a pleasant nose, just right off the rip here. It's got a pleasant nose on it. All right, cheers. Let's see how this tastes. Okay, so initially, what I'm getting off from that is a lot of sweetness. I'm getting a sugary sweetness off from that. I'm getting some pepper on it too. I can't tell if it's like a white pepper or black pepper. There is a little of that, but it's not overpowering. But the sweetness is at the forefront, and it's not a stone fruit. There's some kind of like maybe it's a little cherry or strawberry or something in there. I'm gonna take a second sip. This has got me really thinking right now. This isn't bad. I still can't put a finger on what that fruit note that I'm tasting is, and I'm hoping after it sits in the glass for a little while, it'll kind of develop some. I find sometimes more than having your bottle open for a while, I think having it sit in a glass is very important. It does affect the taste and allows some of the ethanol to burn off and some of those the smells that you're getting from the wood and stuff to kind of hang and get denser in the glass. So I'm gonna let this sit for a while. We're gonna come right back and finish up this review. It'll be just like that. All right guys, I'm back. This thing has breathed for a little while, sat in the glass, and let's see what we get. Let's see if that really did anything for it. I was liking the nose before, so I'm hoping that just kind of sitting in the glass for a little while helped this out some, but let's see. I'm getting hardly any ethanol on this, and I'm not really getting a lot of punchy rye. I'm getting a fruit with this. So, all right, I was getting cherries before, and now it's turning almost apple-y, like Granny Smith-like. but I can still get a little bit of that pepper too from the rye spice in there. It's mellowed down some. At 108 proof, it's not punchy in the nose anyways, but there was a little bit, but not much of an alcohol kick, and that's pretty much gone. I could live in this glass right now. So again, same things. I'm getting some caramel here. I'm getting some fruits. I'm still getting a little hint of cherry, but I'm getting like a green apple or maybe even a slight pear note, maybe, kind of, but it's not super strong. And I'm getting a little bit of pepper. All right, let's see how this thing developed for the palate. Cheers. So I'm getting a little bit of nut in there too. Like it's almost like a peanut, but it's very subtle peanut. So it's not like a bean, you know, peanut that you get with the bean products, but there's a little bit there. I don't really get a lot of that apple flavor that I was getting before, but I am getting some cherry on the palate, which is nice. That's really pleasant. There's white pepper in there I'm getting from it as well. But the nice thing is the considering the lowish proof on this, the mouth coat, the mouthfeel is fantastic. It's real smooth in the mouth. It's got a nice coating effect. I'm really enjoying this a lot. I think that we've had a lot of good ryes come out this year, at least a lot of ryes that I've tried. I've had the Bottle and Bond rye from Old Forester, the 117, the Sagamore 10-year rye, absolute freaking hit. I love the old Overhulk 11, but that's technically last year's. I haven't had a chance to try the 12 yet, but if the 12 is anything like the 11, that's going to be another hit. There's been a ton of Jack Daniel's ryes that have came out that are just phenomenal. So this is kind of falling in line with that. So the age on this, for being a 12-year, 3-month whiskey, I'm not getting a ton of oak on it, which is nice because I'm not getting that drying effect or any of those things that you might expect out of a 12-year product. This couldn't have been cheap for them to put out. And keeping it the same price as what they're keeping their barrel proof ryes or their barrel proof bourbons at, that's, I mean, commendable for them to do, and especially to put one out that's 12 years and 3 months, considering that their C925 is 9 years, 9 years 1 month for that one, although it's a much higher proof. I'm not thinking I'm gonna like that one near as much as I like this. I really do enjoy this. Okay, so enough talk. Where are we at for a score? So I'm gonna put the requirements for the scores, what I usually put, like right over here. I'll put those up for you guys so you don't have to listen to me drone on to kind of see where things will fit in. But I'm gonna say with this one, I'm giving this a 73. So it's a great bottle, it really is. And so as you can see by kind of like my scale, 70s are good. 70s are what I consider, you know, really solid whiskey. And this is a solid pour. Maybe in time it'll open up a little bit more. There were a lot of good things with it. I think that it's very well balanced. That's the number one thing, because there's not one thing that kind of like jumps out and takes over everything. But that's also why I didn't elevate to the 80s. There was nothing that was like magic, you know, that was like, oh wow, this is incredible. But there was a lot of good, a whole lot of good, solid. I would definitely pick up another one of these when I see it. I don't know how available they're gonna be. I've only seen one and I got the one that I saw. So what I'm really interested in trying this in, I'm gonna try an old fashioned with this. I do, and I'll do a video showing how I do my old fashions, but I also do a smoked old fashioned, and I'll show you guys all that in another video. I'll do a cocktail video, if that's something you want to see anyways. If it's something you want to see some cocktails, I do a really good whiskey sour with an egg, and I make my own simple syrup. If you want to see me make some cocktails on a video, let me know, throw it in there, and I'll do how I make my whiskey sour with an egg, and I'll do an old fashioned probably with this, and just try that. But that's what I have for you today, guys. Thank you for stopping in on this Friday to see this review of this A925, and until next time, cheers from the whiskey tank.